Oh, hey guys.
Boy, if you don't...
All right, you got it. Well, what's good, guys? My name is Winston, for those that don't know me, and this is The Driven Youth. Welcome back. Today, I wanted to talk to you guys about an important topic that's been weighing on my mind, bro. I was really talking to some adults the other week, and for some reason, they sat me down and really tried to convince me that me graduating college in my 20s and then working 40 to 50 years, and then retiring sometime in my mid 60s or even my early 60s for another maybe 20 to 30 years of retirement living is the way to go.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
Boy, I almost lost it. Think about that though. Like, if you're like me, that's probably not the life that you're trying to live. That's probably not the way for you. So I really got me thinking, like, what exactly is my retirement age? How far away am I from retirement? And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to show you guys how to calculate how far away you are from retirement. We're also going to figure out how much you actually need in retirement to live the lifestyle that you want to live. So YouTube is kind of funny with its algorithm. So, if you like the video, like the video. If you don't like the video, hit that dislike button twice just to make sure. So if you're like me, then you're probably thinking about this whole concept of retirement, and it's as a young person, it's probably like a foreign concept to you. If you're in the workforce right now, you probably started something called a 401k. They should actually call it a 401. Yeah, okay, sure, get the hell out of here, because they're a scam, and I'll explain why in a follow-up video. But like I said before, 40 to 50 years of work followed by 20 to 30 years of retirement just does not sound like the wave, right? Because it's not. Nonetheless, people are still going to try and tell you that the only way to retire is to work hard, put your money in a 401, yeah, okay, sure, and then pull it out when you're 65 years old and start collecting Social Security. So Winnie, if a 401k isn't gonna save me, and my Social Security is probably not gonna get it done, how am I gonna retire? Well, I'm glad you asked. So remember that S&P 500 I was talking to you about, and I'll probably mention it in a couple other of my videos. So that's the market, right? Like, the market is returning at around 8 to 10%. And that's pretty decent. That's a pretty decent return on your investment. So instead of going with these brokers that are charging you high fees that are always, at least 92% of the time, are failing to beat the market, which means that they're returning less than what the market is returning, then the only thing that makes sense at that point is to try and trace the market. Try and imitate what the market is doing, and you can do that by, guess what? Going with a low cost index fund. So for those that don't know what an index fund is, it's one of the best ways to diversify within the stock market. Instead of purchasing one share on one stock or one company stock, you actually purchase an index of them, a lot of them pooled together, right? Something like the Vanguard 500, for example, purchases the top 500 publicly traded companies in the United States. And if you purchase a share into that index fund, you actually now own a piece of the 500 top publicly traded companies in the United States. And this is cool because not only are the returns historically from 8 to 10% over a 10, 15 year period of time, but you're also never trying to outperform the market. So you're not taking these these leverage guesses, you're not taking these risks, and you're just simply imitating the market. It's called passive investing, which means that you're not paying brokers and these managers extremely high fees, which can save you hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of your investment period. There's also something called the 4% rule. So the 4% rule says that if you withdraw just 4% of the money that you have in your account, and this is assuming historic returns of anywhere from 8 to 10%, like the S&P 500 index has been returning, but you would never touch the principal, meaning that you would just never run out of money. If the money is returning, 8% every year, and every year you're withdrawing 4%, that's essentially money for life, right? Like you will never run out of money.
Money for life?
Yeah, money for life. So for simple numbers, let's say you have 100K in your in an investment account, and you invested all this entire amount into a low-cost index fund that is tracking the S&P 500 index, right? And that returns conservatively, let's say 8%. So now after year one, after year one, you have $108,000 in your account somewhere, right? You withdraw 4% of that, which is $4,300 or so, right? Yes, the 4% rule says that you can withdraw $4,300 from that. So you withdraw $4,300 from your $108,000, and now you have about $103.70 in there. That stays in there for the next year, and now you have 8% more on top of that. Yeah, so after like year two, you would have like 111 or so, assuming an 8% return historically. And then, you know, you could withdraw 4% of that and then continue that cycle over and over and over again. So like, before y'all chew me up, turn off the video, I get it. $4,300 a year is probably not a lot to live off of. Like, you probably can't live off of that, even if you're living at home or something. That's what, a few $100s a month. That's hard to live off of. But there's a concept called your freedom number. And your freedom number is essentially the number that makes the 4% rule work for you. The thing about personal finance is it's personal, right? Like, my needs aren't gonna be your needs, your wants aren't my wants, and our goals are probably not going to be the same. So personal finance means that you have to find these numbers for yourself. And your freedom number can be exclusive to you, just the same way that mine is exclusive to me. Usually your freedom number is about 30 times your expenses. Not your income, your expenses. This is why it's important to avoid debt and all these monthly payments that usually eat up our paychecks, right? Like, imagine if we didn't pay rent, right? We owned our homes, we owned our cars, we didn't have student loans, we didn't have all these, you know, like, I don't know, is Rent-A-Center still a thing? I don't think so, right? What if we didn't have all these monthly payments, right? Like, our paychecks would be so much more free. We would really have way less expenses. I read this book by Dave Ramsey, and he pretty much just explained why debt is so crippling when it comes to building wealth. I didn't really buy it at first, but then I talked to one of my big brothers, Josh, who's kind of like my war counsel. It's like him, my dad, and a couple other people, and he pretty much broke it down so eloquently to me why it's so important to get out of debt before trying to build wealth. And it makes sense, right? Without all these payments, without all these things bogging down your paycheck, weighing you down, you can actually accumulate wealth a lot faster because you'll be paying for less, and you'll also have more to invest. So like I said, your freedom number is usually 30 times your expenses, your annual expenses. So a good example of what this looks like is, for me, my monthly expenses are around $4,500 right now. This is including savings. If I don't include savings, I'm about $3,300 in just actual like bills, you know, rent, tithe, random stuff that I buy, like this expensive ass camera. Like, yo, first of all, this camera is wild sharp because I'm looking like at it and I could literally see my pores, and like I'm waving at Osmosis Jones right now. But anyway, my annual expenses comes up to around $39,000 and some change. So around $40,000 in annual expenses. So 30 times that is gonna be around $1.2 million. So my freedom number for me to retire and live comfortably the way that I am right now is $1.2 million. All right, okay, breathe for me for a second, because I know what some people are thinking, like $1.2 million, like that's max, like I'm a millionaire already, like if I got that, what do I need? I'm good, right? Yeah, okay, I'm gonna explain. So the thing is, you can't save up $1.2 million, or well, you technically can, it'll take a lot longer than normal. So here we are back to this idea of the stock market again, right? This whole thing of the stock market. So with a market that's returning about 8%, how much do I need to invest, and for how long do I need to invest it to get $1.2 million? These are the questions that you should be asking yourself. This is the question that I asked myself. How much and how long do I need to invest into the stock market to reach my freedom number? So for me, if I were to invest $25,000 a year or a little over $2,000 a month passively into an account, into an index fund, for example. When I say passively, what does that mean? Remember, I'm not trading, I'm not losing sleep over it. I'm literally just parking my money, my $2,000 a month. I'm parking it into an investment account that is buying index shares for 20 years. If I did that for 20 years, I would have more than $1.2 million in that account. And then at that point, I would be able to withdraw 4% of that $1.2 million every year. And that's around what, $48,000 a year, which is a little bit over $4,000. I think it actually is literally $4,000 a month, which would cover my monthly expenses. So keep in mind, this is my personal expenses, right? I have a car note, I'm paying rent, I have student loans, I have a girlfriend that is expensive, I have family members that are pricey, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is my personal finance right here. It can be different. Imagine if you didn't have a student loan, imagine if you didn't have a car payment, you didn't pay rent, you lived at home or something, those numbers would be less for you. Imagine if you did this with a partner. Imagine if you had a wife in this, or you had a husband in this that were assisting you as well. You'd essentially be able to cut everything in half, meaning that either you can cut the amount of time down from maybe 20 years to 10 years or 15 years to 7 years or so, or you'd be able to do more, save more money in that amount of time, invest more money in that amount of time. So like realistically, like you're not gonna be pushing a benzo or like whipping a double R or something, but you'll have the freedom to wake up in the morning and say to yourself, yo, what do I feel like doing today? Do I feel like staying in bed and playing 2K? Do I feel like reading a book? Do I feel like going for a jog? Like, it's really up to you. That's really what this is about, right? It's not about a number. It's not about, feeling like you have money. It's about buying back your time. It's about doing what you want with your time. And that's why we do this, right? That's why we invest. That's what we push for in terms of financial freedom. So the question that I started this off with was, how far away is your retirement? Well, mine's about 25 years away. That means by the age of 49, I'll be done. I adjusted my numbers based on my personal situation. Like, I could honestly go nuts and probably be done by 40 or even 35 if I just saved way more money than I do right now, moved home or whatever. But bro, I'm trying to enjoy my life. Like, I know people that are retired at 35, but literally from the ages of 18 to 35, they were wilding. Like, they saved all their money. They didn't do anything. Like, they literally ate macaroni and canned tuna 7 nights a week. Like, they bought all their stuff, even underwear from the thrift store. It's just not for me. Like, I want to enjoy my youth a little bit. Well, now I hope you know an easy way to calculate how far away your retirement is. If this was really confusing, I don't know what to tell you, because it's really not that difficult. Like, I tried to make it really simple. Maybe try watching it again at half speed or something. But here are some recaps. The first thing you got to remember is your 401. Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, make sure you check that guy out. Make sure you're not being ripped off there. Make sure the fees aren't crazy. Make sure that you understand the concept of it and you use it appropriately. Also, the key here is to reach your freedom number as soon as possible. The sooner you reach your freedom number, the sooner that you can retire. Remember, this is done by either paying down your debt so that you can invest more, or finding a way to earn more so you can invest more. You either try and penny pinch where you can to put more towards your freedom number, or you earn more so that you can put that difference towards your freedom number as well. And keep in mind, this whole process becomes 10 times easier if you find somebody to take this journey with you. Find a girl, find a dude, find a mentor, a coach, a big brother, a big sister, whatever you want to call it. Hit your pastor up or something. Do something. Find somebody to take this journey with you to help hold you accountable. And overall, just make sure that you keep growing every single day. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video, but now I want you guys to take it a step further. I want you guys to decide on what you're going to do with the information that you learned in this video. So decide whether you're going to share it with somebody that you think could benefit, or decide whether you're just going to continue to learn, continue to grow, so that you'll be poised and ready when the opportunity presents itself. But just decide and stick to whatever you decide to do. And if you're new here, well, what's up? So are we. This is The Driven Youth. We're a channel dedicated to the motivated millennial. We're here to give you the mindset and the methods needed to actualize success, whatever that may be to you. So if you're down for that mission, if you're ready to take that journey with us, then hit that like button, subscribe, comment your thoughts down below. Might be good for some intellectual conversations or something. But most importantly, just join the community. You know, like there's a bunch of us out here that's trying to do something, and nobody gets left behind. So pull up, grab a book, sit down, watch a video, do whatever you got to do just to keep growing. Thanks, y'all. Peace.